It's the big story this Friday morning. National Assembly Speaker Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula has launched an urgent court interdict to prevent her arrest and is also asking for the police docket in this matter to be handed over. Mapisa-Nqakula, who's being investigated on corruption allegations, says she took special leave from her position to protect the integrity of Parliament. Now, earlier this week, her home was raided by the NPA's investigating Directorate in connection with alleged corruption during her tenure as Defence Minister. In a statement released by Parliament, Mapisa-Nqakula says while no formal notification of an arrest warrant has been issued, she has informed the NPA of her readiness to comply and cooperate. Following the raid, the Speaker maintained her innocence, saying she's got nothing to hide. She was due to attend the 148th session of the Inter-Parliamentary Union Assembly in Geneva, that's in Switzerland, but she'll no longer be part of that delegation. All right, let's get you a sense of what else we know about this. Bring in now our SABC reporter, Canny Maphanga, who's actually at the Commercial Crimes Court in Pretoria. Canny's joining us via our telephone line this morning. And Canny, of course, we are trying to connect the dots, as it were, given just how much we still don't know about what might be happening. Get us a sense of what you've been able to ascertain from your vantage point.
Well, good morning to you, Ayanda, and to the viewers at home. Indeed, I am currently at the Specialized Commercial Crimes Court in Pretoria, where we expected the Speaker to just make a brief appearance where the matter would be enrolled. However, there's no sight of her here this morning, and with sight of those papers that I've seen being filed, I do not see a scenario where she'll appear in the court today. As you've seen in those papers where she seeks an interdict against her imminent arrest, the respondents are given until at least the first week of April to file their papers and their heads. So we can expect that this court bid at least will last until the first week of April, and then we'll be able to know how this matter is going forward. Now, Ayanda, if she had appeared this morning, it really would have been a brief appearance just to enroll the matter, list the charges, and then the NPA would then specify whether they were opposed to or for bail in this matter. Upon hearing that, then she would be allocated another date, and that would be the end of this appearance this morning. So it would be a very quick appearance. It wouldn't be nothing large this morning. However, we do see that she is stating in her papers that she would be prejudiced, and she is seeking full disclosure of the matter before the Commercial Crimes Court, and then she intends to fully cooperate with the matter. So as we speak now, I don't think there'll be any appearance based on the papers alone. The interdict has been filed this morning in the High Court in Pretoria and gives the respondents a significant period to file their responses as well. Then we can expect that matter would be enrolled for hearing in the motion court there in the High Court. Whatever happens there will likely affect what happens in this lower court. So we can wait or expect at least another few weeks before you can see this matter seeing some movement.
Yeah, it's interesting that, the deadline, for lack of a better term, is that first week of April. But in those papers, she's arguing that this is an urgent matter.
Well, I think, Ayanda, the Gauteng High Court, the division itself, is the heart of administrative law. So it is a court that is overwhelmed with a lot of matters. So the word urgent, Ayanda, in this case is actually quite relative because they have a lot of matters coming through that court. So it could be an issue of when the matter can be enrolled and when it can be heard in the Gauteng High Court. And that is why you see those dates that you're seeing there. So it's not unique to this matter specifically, but that particular division throughout the country is overwhelmed with these kinds of matters, people seeking interdicts, etc. And of course, when you file these motions, you have to give the respondents a chance to set out their arguments in their papers and their defense in their papers. And that is why particularly these matters take a couple of weeks to be heard in the court and determined.
Yeah. In the same court papers, Canny, she speaks about wanting to see the docket in this matter, arguing in part that this docket has already been made public. I'm not quite sure which of our colleagues in the industry perhaps have caught sight of that, as she claims. And she says because of that, this matter won't be prejudiced in any way. It'll be interesting to see how, of course, authorities respond to this. But traditionally speaking, is it norm that someone is furnished with this kind of docket prior to actually being charged?
Well, usually, Ayanda, we see this disclosure happening during the process of the trial.
Right.
But she's saying because of her position, and who she is within society, she would suffer irreparable harm if she was hauled to that criminal dock, and she doesn't have a full idea as to what is happening in this matter and what is she charged with and what is she facing. So she's exercising her right to get that full disclosure from the state. She's also lamenting the fact that I'm not understanding it to be a full disclosure of the docket, but content of it being in media reports and she not learning about it, apologies, prior to this morning's appearance. She is relying on her position within society to argue that she would suffer prejudice and irreparable harm if she doesn't have access to those dockets. But the Criminal Procedure Act does allow for you to go to the court and defend yourself accordingly as the matter proceeds. And as you know, in our criminal justice system, you are presumed innocent before guilty. The NPA, the onus is on them to present their case and prove the charges that they are trying to put against you. So the process is there to defend herself, but perhaps her argument or the reservation she may have is the irreparable harm she may suffer if she appears to that criminal dock. And you know, matters of this nature, Ayanda, take quite a long period, and you've seen a couple of these matters through the IG where they go through these long processes and then it doesn't lead to the desired result. So she may be trying to get ahead of it before she could possibly suffer what she terms to be irreparable harm.
Yeah. She also denies this idea that she has actually offered herself up to police. I mean, she says that these claims that are making the rounds that she was going to go to the Littleton police station are simply not true. And that's despite a letter she received from authorities around her imminent arrest. I mean, you know, because of the so many different moving parts, one wonders in what ways this may complicate the NPA's ability to actually tie a neat knot around this, if you know what I mean, just because of how public it's become at this really crucial stage.
Yes, well, Ayanda, there's nothing really at the stage that we have that is tangible to prove that she was actually even at the police station when it was reported that she was there. But of course, she's a high-profile figure. We've seen these cases and how these high-profile figures have gone and presented themselves at the police station. But usually in these matters, there's a lot more information regarding what's going on. There was a lot of speculation regarding her matter following that search and seizure that reportedly took place at her home. So there is some argument that she may have there, but we have no certainty that she actually appeared. I have not personally seen a warrant in her name, so I cannot confirm those details to you, but we understood that a matter was supposed to be enrolled today, and it's clear from papers that she was given an indication that a matter would be enrolled today. But as we speak now, and from those papers that I've seen, there is no chance of her appearing in the court today, at least until that motion is heard and determined by the Gauteng High Court in Pretoria.
Yeah, you've already touched on this, but I suppose it's worth asking the question explicitly. Even if she were to appear, I mean, this idea that would see the end of this case anytime soon is possibly just a far-fetched thought, a far-fetched idea.
No, I mean, this is a commercial crimes court, and she's facing quite serious charges. I mean, if she were to go to trial, it would be a matter that would take some time to complete. And it would be a matter that would see a lot of litigation in between, because these matters are very complex. So even if she were to appear today, it's not that the matter will be finalized today. All we see now is that there's a motion in place to deal with her needs or her request to her motion. And when that is determined, then I guess this matter can proceed. So we can expect at least by the first week of April, those papers would have been filed. We then expect the Gauteng High Court in Pretoria to allocate the date for hearing, and we can have those issues that are being determined there. The High Court will make a decision, and that is a separate issue. Remember, that will be dealing with the civil court. And then once the civil court has completed what they've completed, then we can see how this matter will move forward in the criminal court. But as you speak right now, I doubt that there will be any court appearance. There's nothing that shows us that an IO has walked through here and delivered a docket for it to be enrolled by the NPA. There's no activity of that kind yet. So as we speak right now, I don't think any appearance will take place today. I think her urgent interdict application would have to be resolved first before the criminal matter could proceed in the commercial crimes court here at the lower court in Pretoria.
Yeah, in fact, her lawyer has been quoted in the media as saying something to that effect, Canny, so you might be on to something. Great reporting as always. Thanks very much indeed. Canny Maphanga, our team, live for us outside the Pretoria Commercial Crimes Court.